Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be looking at a common problem that needs to be solved in cryptocurrency, and that is understanding positions across various delivery types, spot, futures, and swaps. So today we're going to be looking at a Python example on how to solve this issue and how you can use it for your algorithmic trading purposes. Let's jump into it. For today's purposes, we're going to be using CCXT and Crypto Pandas library on the OKX exchange. So let's go ahead and import those libraries. And once we have imported those libraries, let's also import our credentials from a .env file. And then we're also going to need our OS library in order to be able to read those credentials. So we start off by creating an exchange object as such, where as the AI has proposed for us, we need to import our API key, secret, and password. And then once we have done this, since we are going to be using the sandbox environment, we need to set the sandbox mode to true, and then we can wrap it all in a CCXT Pandas exchange from Crypto Pandas. Now, once we've done this, we're first going to load our markets. And now what we're going to do is figure out what is our balance on spot. And for this purpose, we're just going to fetch our balance. All right. So let's go ahead and just see what kind of data this gives us. And as you can see, our balance data frame is composed of a symbol column, a free column, which says how much of the asset is free for trading, how much of it is locked up in trading, and how much of it is available in total if you sum free and used. Now, this is great for knowing what is our position on spot, but to know what is our position on the futures, we're going to query the positions. So for this, we're just going to query fetch positions, and let's go ahead and have a look at our data. All right, so if we look now at this positions data frame, we have equally a symbol column, how much USD is currently locked up into that position, what was our entry price, how many contracts we have shorted or went long, how many assets are behind each contract, as well as additional information such as the mark price and whether the position is a short or a long. And so immediately what we notice is there is a discrepancy between how the symbols are noted in positions and in balance. And that is because the symbol in balance is not necessarily traded only on a single symbol such as BTC USD, but it could also be BTC Euro or BTC USDC. So the symbol is actually the base asset here. And on the other hand here, for the symbol, we have the contract which is traded, but we need the information with regard to what the base is. So what we're going to do is we're going to rename this column to base. We're going to, from the markets data frame, find what is the base column of this symbol. And then once we have done that renaming, we can merge to our positions data frame. Now we don't need the entire markets data frame. Really what we're interested in is just the symbol and the base. All right, let's go ahead and see now what our data frames look like. So as you can see here in our balance data frame, we now have our symbol, which has been renamed to base. And if we look all the way on the right of our positions data frame, we have the base, which is indeed Doge or BTC. Now, one thing we need to notice is that the balance inside of spot is always positive, but of course we can be short an asset such as here on Doge. So we need to transform this contract into a negative value when it is a short. and then we make negative when it is not. Another thing we need to take into consideration is that futures are traded based on contract size. So if you want to know the amount of the asset that is behind your position on futures, you need to multiply the contracts by the contract size. So now we have properly determined how much amount is held on both spot and futures for each base, but we notice that the columns aren't matching. So in futures, we have either contracts, but in spot, we have free or used. Now here it's going to depend on what kind of activity you're doing. But if you're doing typically some form of delta hedging where you're going long on spot and short on futures, what you're really interested in knowing is how much of your futures position is held in non-locked up spot. So really the asset that you're interested in is the free, because whatever is used is locked up in some other trade and you cannot access it if you have any issues on futures and you need to close the position. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a amount column in both the balance data frame and the contracts data frame. And in the balance data frame, the amounts is going to be based off of the free. And in the positions data frame, it's going to be based off of contracts. So to do this, we just need to rename up here free to amount. And actually, rather than changing the contracts column, we're just going to create a new amount column here straight away. There you go. Go ahead and have a look at our new data frames now. All right, so as you can see here, we now have a amount column in position, which is either negative or positive. And we have an amount column in our balance data frame corresponding to how much of that asset is free to access. So now if we want to understand what is our total position across spot and futures, we just need to combine these data frames and sum it all up. So we're going to use PD concat. And as the AI has here suggested, we're going to be grouping by base and summing everything up. We don't need all of the columns. Let's just focus on amount. Gonna apply a linter to clean everything up. Let's just print out results here and see what's out of it. So we have our balance data frame up here, our positions data frame, and now if we look down here, we have our delta positions across spot and futures. And as you can see, we have some longs mainly coming from spot. But if we were to look at Doge here, where we owned 99.9 Doge on spot, but on the other hand, we had a short of 100 Doge on futures, we can now see that our total position is close to fully hedged. And that is exactly what we're trying to do if we're trying to do spot versus futures arbitrage or any form of delta hedging. We hope that you guys found this useful for your algorithmic trading purposes. The code is going to be available in the description below. If there's any code examples that you guys would like to see, please let us know and we will try to make it in a future video. Hope you guys found this interesting and we will hope to see you in a future video.